Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel where I cover everything mommy and lifestyle. In today's video, I'm going to be going over something that hopefully will help a lot of mamas out there if you live in Canada, or if not, will just be interesting to you. But I'm going to be covering maternity leave in Canada and how it works. So the idea for this video was really sparked when I was trying to do all the research for my maternity leave, which I actually just started today. Whoop whoop. And it was very hard to get answers to a lot of the questions that I had. And I don't know if anyone out there has tried to contact the Canadian government, but let me tell you, it can be hard and very, very frustrating. So I hope by making this video, everybody out there will sort of get a little bit of answers to everybody's questions. Again, I am not an expert on this subject, so don't take everything that I say and trust it with everything that you have. As well, do your own research. So in this video, I will be answering my top 7 questions that I had for my maternity. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first question is, how long does maternity leave last in Canada? So in Canada, you do have a choice of how long you want to take for maternity leave. You can either do 12 months or you can do 18 months, which is a lot longer than other places in the world. So we are very lucky to have that. Although, however, if you do not choose the 18 months and you choose the 12 months, you don't have to go back to work right after the 12 months. Your employer has to secure your spot for the full 18 months, even if you decide not to go back to work after your 12 months is done. It's just you don't get paid after those 12 months. Question number 2 is, how much do I get paid to be on maternity leave? So when I was doing research for a whole bunch of other countries, this as well scored a lot higher than most other countries. So we actually do get paid, so we get paid maternity leave, and it depends on which option you chose. So if you chose the 12-month option, you get 55% of your paycheck, and if you chose the 18 months, then you get 33% of your paycheck. The next question is, what do I need to qualify for maternity leave? And in order to qualify for maternity leave, all you need is 600 hours of insurable work hours with your employer. So as long as you've worked 6 months, which equates to I think 3 months of full-time work with that employer, then you will get maternity leave. The next question is, how do I apply for maternity leave? It is actually quite simple. So on your last day of work, you will let your employer know to submit your ROE, which is your record of employment. They will submit that to the government, and then in 2 weeks' time, the government should have processed this request and you should be getting paid money. So you do have to keep in mind that you won't be getting paid for 2 weeks, the first technical 2 weeks of your maternity leave. So factor that in. And then as well, you do need to go online as well and apply and submit your forms online. A really important question and something that I really needed to know was something called the highest 22 weeks. So for this applies to anybody who doesn't make the same amount on every single paycheck. So if you're working hourly and you seem to not be making a lot of hours that week, or 1 week you work overtime, you make a lot of hours. So what they do, or what you can do, is you can, when you apply for maternity, you can say, I only want my highest 22 weeks to be accounted for. So what they're going to do is they're going to take the average that you made for those 22 weeks, and that's how they're going to figure out how much they can pay you for maternity leave. If you don't do the highest 22 weeks, then they just take the average of your last 52 weeks that you have worked. Another question is, can I split my maternity leave with my significant other? And yes, you can. So there are things called maternity and also paternity leave. And this is divided however you want to divide it between the two of you. So if say the mother wants to take the first 6 months and then the father wants to take the second 6 months, it's totally up to you. This might be something that you want to do if the mother is the breadwinner in the family, or one partner is the breadwinner in the family. That person would typically want to work for their full pay. And the last question is, can I still work when I am on maternity? And yes, you can. So this, when I asked the government official on the phone, they said that you could still work for while you were on maternity. And basically how this works is that you're given a threshold, so a maximum amount of money that you can make per week while still getting maternity. So for example, you are given a threshold of $800. If you decide to go back to work for that month, you cannot make more than $800. If you do make more than your threshold of $800, then you are considered a full-time employee and you are no longer on maternity. So you will not get your maternity paycheck for that month. And then everything under your threshold, so say you made $500 that month, you're still considered a part-time employee, so you would still get your maternity paycheck, but everything that you made while making that $500 would be deducted 50%. So the government would take 50%, you'd keep your 50%, and you would still get your maternity paycheck. So guys, that is basically it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative and it answered a lot of your questions. If you still have more questions, leave them in the comment section below. I also will link a website that is very helpful and will answer some of your questions, but anything more personal, you do need to call and speak to the government. Unfortunately, sometimes their call volume is so high that they will not answer your calls, and then other times your estimated wait time is about 45 minutes. So I hope by making this video you can avoid doing that. If I have said anything that you don't agree with or is not correct, also please leave that in the comment section below. As I said, I'm not an expert. I do not work for the government. But thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for supporting our family, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.